Hi, my name is Dan Gordon, and this is my story of dealing with poor mental health. So, for me, it was at the end of second year of uni that I first acknowledged that I was a bit off. I had two things I was really looking forward to in the summer, and when I was doing them, I remember being aware that I was just flat and not really feeling anything about it. That year at uni hadn't been the easiest. I went through a breakup, I wasn't enjoying my course, and I was rarely going out of the house other than to go out and drink. I was always thinking that everyone else was having a great time compared to me. At that point, I just put it down to what was going on in my life. I didn't consider that it was anything more. So in the following academic year, by the Christmas, while I was studying abroad, I was starting to think, okay, something might not be quite right here, and it might just be more than who I am as a person and my life events. I'd come back to England in February, and I knew I'd put it off long enough, so I booked to see my GP. The doctor suggested that I could be depressed and advised that I attend some counselling. So I thought, okay, I'll tell my parents and we'll book some counselling for when I get back from Vienna in Easter. On the first Saturday of our Easter holiday, I was watching TV and having breakfast as normal, when suddenly my brain started racing at a million miles an hour. I felt that my head was falling. I suddenly got intense, depressive, overwhelming thoughts, questioning what the point was in anything. It's all pointless, a waste. My whole perspective had changed. Everything changed in that moment. The day after, I had to tell my mum that something was wrong and that I felt different. I remember I broke down in tears as I told her. I was terrified. I just didn't know what was going on. After a few weeks where I didn't improve, the counsellor that I was seeing suggested that I try some medication. From then it was just a long slog. Although some people see improvement straight away, antidepressants can take a while to properly work. For me, it was really up and down. Those few months were the toughest period of my life. Depression is like a heavy weight. When it comes on strongly, you feel like you can't move. Everything becomes a massive challenge. At points, you just want to melt into the bed and disappear. In my experience, you have to be really strong because there are points where you want more than anything for it all just to stop. Thankfully, though, I battled through it, and after a couple of months had passed, the medication I was on started to level me out. I stuck with it and tried to incorporate some lifestyle changes. I was still very flat, but at least it stopped me having the deep plunges and the intense spiralling of mood. Having the breakdown was almost like my mind telling me that I needed to change some stuff because I wasn't looking after myself. I started to change a few things when I got back to England. I started to go to the library to do my uni work. I got more of a routine. I started to meditate, drink less alcohol. It took a while, but I slowly started to get some positive emotion back. It was very small at the start, but I remember I started waking up and actually feeling excited for things. It was such a nice feeling. At the end of my final year, I managed to secure a 2-1. Getting this felt like a huge achievement and such a relief. I'd also managed to get an internship in Birmingham, which started in the summer. Moving in on my own and starting my job, I suddenly felt that I had found something I loved. I started finding things that I actually had a passion for and loved the routine of work and feeling productive every day. I can definitely say now, a few years later, that I enjoy life more than I ever did at uni. If you'd said that to me a couple of years ago, I would never have believed you. I've learned so much and I know myself so much better now. I know what I need to best look after my own mental health, and I'm in a much better place for it. I'm by no means perfect, and no one is. I still take medications to this day, but overall, if I look back on where I was, the difference is huge. I'm genuinely positive about the future and look forward with optimism. I think that in itself is the biggest sign of how far I've come. So my message to anyone watching, if you're finding things difficult right now, then please know that things can get better. Speak to someone, use any available support, and things will improve. It may be hard work, but I am proof that it can and it will get better.